Democrats HQ Update Special. Chris Lunn interviews Cindy Olivas Trigg, Democratic candidate for the U.S. Congress in the 2nd Congressional District of Nevada.
Thank you, Paul and Nancy. My name is Christopher Lunn, and today we have the privilege of interviewing Cindy Olivas Trigg, who is running for CD2, a seat that is currently held by Dean Heller, a Republican. I've worked with Cindy over the last 2 years and spent a lot of time with her, and I was recently on a blog called Blue Lion Blog. The person who runs the Blue Lion Blog is Carissa Snedeker, and she said, "I've known and worked with Cindy for years. She is passionate about the working class, children, education, civil liberties, health care, and veterans. I can say with no reservation, Cindy is never in it for herself. I've seen her work on behalf of others to the point of exhaustion, yet the fire continues to burn and she continues to smile through it all. She will work for us really well in Washington." And I could not have put it better. I was going to write something about that, but that is exactly who Cindy Trigg is. I've been with her after 18 hours on the road, driving out to Elko and back, and she's still going a mile a minute on the telephone.
Thank you, Chris, for that nice introduction. I'm going to thank Carissa also.
Only the truth, Cindy, only the truth.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here, and I thank the Douglas Dems and the Dem headquarters here in allowing me this opportunity to speak to everybody.
So, Cindy, I am totally enamored with the idea that you're running for Congress, because I really do believe that there aren't very many people coming up from the grassroots that, well, first of all, accept the challenge, and second, are really qualified to do it. I really believe that you have that going on, being president of the school board, and you've definitely proved your mettle in my eyes, and I think I'm a tough nut to crack. My first question is, why in the world would you take on such a huge hurdle? Like CD2 is extremely Republican. You're a Democrat running in a Republican venue. That, you know, it's really interesting that you would jump in the middle of this pile. What's your motivation?
Well, first of all, I've traveled the rurals quite a bit, and I've been in Washoe County. I've been obviously in every county when we were organizing the rurals for the early caucuses. And one thing I found was that Democrats, Republicans, nonpartisans alike, they are looking for solutions. They're looking for people, they're looking for candidates, representatives that want to work for them. This campaign is going to be about the voter, you, the voter. It's about your choices, it's about our choices, it's about where we want to go, it's about how we want to identify ourselves as Nevadans, but first and foremost, it is about you, the voter, the solutions that you need to ease the burden of the economic crisis in your life. It's about making sure that our veterans have what we've promised them. They've sacrificed their lives, their family lives. They come home with different kind of challenges than that they've had in the past, and we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing for those heroes. In addition, it's about providing services for the least among us that do not choose to be there. You know, everybody can say, well, some people just need to pull up their bootstraps. Dean Heller has made the remark that HR, I believe it's 1106, which was the reform on foreclosure, he wasn't going to rescue people who were irresponsible. Well, it's not irresponsible people who need that help right now. It's hard-working, honest Americans, Nevadans. We have the highest foreclosure rate in the country, and to get anything done is so frustrating. People are throwing up their hands and walking away. I'm not about giving away something for nothing. I'm about providing solutions, working across party lines. I don't care where the idea comes from or who it comes from, Republican, Democrat, nonpartisan, as long as it's a solution that is going to help the everyday Nevadan, the everyday person that goes to work every day, works hard, and all they want to do is provide for their family. And perhaps, maybe, if they do that well, something extra. It's a very simple answer. It's about solutions.
Well, can you give us some idea of how your experience on the school board, which I know you've kind of gone right up the ladder really quickly in responsibility and in dealing with that. Could you give us some idea how that experience and really your life experience dovetails you into a sense of what CD2 is all about? I mean, it's a rural district, it's Republican, it is a hard-working class people based around only a few industries.
I was a flight attendant for American Airlines, an international flight attendant for 27 years, and traveled over most of the world. There were definite differences flying into Paris, flying into London, than saying flying into Uruguay and Paraguay, and noticing the differences in cultures. That is something I think that has really given me a lot of insight into dealing with other people, whether I'm dealing with a Republican and I'm a Democrat, whether I'm dealing with K through 12 teachers as opposed to dealing with university professors. Most of it, I think, stems from having respect for other people's opinion, having respect for other people's ideas, not taking no for an answer, but figuring out how we can work around that no and come to a win-win solution, or at least a solution that hurts the least amount of people. Right now, what the school districts are going through in the state of Nevada is devastating. Not only is it devastating for our students, it is devastating to those families who are losing their jobs. It's devastating for our teachers who have to teach under such dire conditions right now. And our governor has done nothing to help with the situation. I want to be able to help that situation rebuild our education system, help rebuild that education system on a national level. I believe that teachers should be elevated to a much higher position in our country. They have the responsibility of creating those building blocks. Our students, our most precious resource, they have the responsibility of making sure that our economic foundation continues so that we can stay the greatest nation that we are. And without great teachers and without supporting those great teachers, it is a very difficult job to do.
As a summation, I hear you say solutions. You know, you've mentioned that a number of times. Could you be kind of specific about 2 or 3 things that you're talking about relative to solutions?
Sure.
What is it you're saying?
Well, I talked about the fact that we need to reform education. In my opinion, although I work very well with our school board, and I think our school board is, I wouldn't want to work with anybody else. However, they support No Child Left Behind, but I would scrap No Child Left Behind. I would keep the accountability portion in a different manner, but I do believe that No Child Left Behind has left more children behind, especially our gifted and talented. So that needs reform. We need to reinvigorate our renewable energy in Nevada, particularly in Nevada, because that will create green-collar jobs. That will create jobs that will stay in Nevada. And to do that, we have to have that curriculum in our schools, in our colleges. We cannot afford to take a 50% cut in our universities. So renewable energy is something that the Mountain West really needs to be able to have a structure where it will produce those jobs so that our kids, when they graduate from school, don't have to leave their home states to go look for a job somewhere else. Our veterans need to make sure that when the legislature passes our bills or the Congress passes those bills, that our veterans are protected. They need health care, which brings us to universal health care. I am not for a single-payer system, although I do believe that we need to compel our insurance companies to become competitive so that we can reduce the healthcare costs in this country, which in turn is going to make our corporations more profitable and save on legacy costs. Just look at GM and Chrysler. Their legacy costs are absolutely decimating that industry. We can do better. We have more choices, and I think that I can bring those choices to the forefront.
Great. Cindy,
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very
much
for taking the time.
My pleasure.
Democrats HQ Update is presented by the Democrats of Douglas County, Nevada.